All right, Fantasia Fest continues. This time we got a French film that is about a man whose head gets stuck in a toilet. Yep, that's the
Yep.
actual premise of the film. Kaylee's had to sit through a lot of disgusting movies for Fantasia Fest.
I'm not a fan of the disgusting movie.
What's funny though is that one of your favorites of Fantasia Fest is about an alien who roots in shit at the
I know,
bottom of an outhouse.
but
He literally is
like
like sitting in
all that
shit.
is gross, but I don't know, there's so many other things happening in the
I know.
movie and I feel like they're not drawing attention to it, but like this it's supposed to be like 100% about the
Grimy
location,
and disgusting.
about the grossness of it
Yeah.
all. So that gets to me when there's like a real big focus on it.
Yeah, so this movie is only about 65 minutes long, so at least they don't draw it out too much. With a premise like this, I'm thankful that they realized, okay, look, we don't really have a ton of story we can possibly do here. Now, for those of you in the States and probably many other countries, the toilet you're thinking of in your head is not the toilet we're referring to.
No.
We're not talking about the one that you sit on, like I have my entire life. These are more of like the hole in the ground toilets
Yes.
that you put your feet on and squat over. Squatty potties, sort of.
Yeah.
I know squatty potty isn't that thing you put your feet up on.
I don't know what that is actually.
I'm pretty sure that's that thing that you put in front of the toilet that you put your feet up on so that your body more like
yeah.
does it naturally because we're supposed to be squatting when we poop.
When he poops.
Anyway, so yeah, I'll let you guys find out if you watch it how his head ends up in that toilet. So I was very curious on how that was going to happen, and it was pretty brutal. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit, wow, okay. Did they justify and warrant an entire movie based on this premise? Yeah, I mean, it's a disgusting film, and it's definitely like a very dark comedy, as you would expect. That being said, there's still a good amount of like drama in it,
For sure.
but it is that kind of classic man in a very, very small location, claustrophobia, like the movie Buried or something like that. But yeah, I mean, his options are extremely limited in this scenario because he really just has his head in a toilet.
Yeah.
And it's, yes, his hands are free above him and he definitely utilizes that primarily. But man, They pretty much use everything in this stall that they possibly could have. So, I don't know. It's a very memorable one-time watch that if you are somebody who thinks like you're not into disgusting films, then absolutely avoid this like crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's weirdly very well done.
And it is. Yeah, I mean, like you said, I think like there's some decent drama and stuff happening in terms of the story, and for it to being such a limited space and everything, I think all of that is utilized pretty well. It's just really gross.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's not something I will ever watch again.
No.
I will not probably want to think about, but that's mostly because I'm grossed out by it. I think that if you're not like me,
You should be.
I mean, like, yeah, you're supposed to be grossed out by it, but I think if you are not really sensitive to that type of stuff, like, it's a good film.
It's
overall.
a fantastical film,
Very,
for sure.
yeah.
You can't really go into this with a large sense of like logic to it because it's just not there. They do it to some extent, but you got to have some serious like suspension of disbelief. Yeah. And yeah, if you can just kind of roll with whatever they're doing, then you could have a good time. I had fun. I was laughing a bit. It's a ridiculous premise. And the reason I mentioned its quality in filmmaking is because a film like this would typically be made for like $5. It'd be one of those, asylum type productions where the cast and crew has never made anything before. They're shooting it on like handheld cameras that they bought at freaking Walmart for $50, and the acting is horrendous, and the lighting is awful, and the sound is terrible. Like, none of those things are the case here. This looks like a feature film.
Yeah.
It's very well shot. It's very well acted for what it is. You just don't expect that with these kinds of shock films that have ridiculous premises. But yeah, I mean, it's better than you would expect it to be, but it is still limited, right, to the plot. It has a lot of limitations to it, but I do think they do as much as they possibly could, and the humor is absurd. We'll just call it toilet humor. But it is. It's very ridiculous. Things happen here. You just can't overthink it. But yeah, it's disgusting.
For sure.
I don't know how much water gets flushed down these things, but
a lot.
Apparently a ton, and very quickly.
Yes.
And there's definitely a couple things I could point out if we were talking about spoilers here, which we're not, but there's certain things that happen in the movie. You're like, no, that's not how that works. That's
I can't do that.
You can't do that. Yeah. Whatever. But I don't know. I think that if this sounds intriguing to you, then you should definitely check it out. Yeah. If it sounds like something that's like, that sounds stupid or absolutely disgusting, no thanks, then I am not going to try to change your mind.
No, definitely not. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's about as good as it could have been.
Sure.
For what it is.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Kudos to the filmmakers and everything. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like maybe this review comes. Well, yours is maybe more positive. I'm not being negative on the film because of the quality of the film, I guess.
Yeah, you're just disgusted.
Just some gross.
But that's the point.
And I wouldn't have watched this normally.
Yeah.
I guess. It's what I wouldn't have sought. Yeah. I wouldn't have sought.
So,
I'm gonna sort this out on my own.
I honestly was gonna watch it without you, but I thought you would find it funny, and then unfortunately there's some animal abuse in this,
happens.
And that sucks. And that's another thing. Like the main character is a very, very flawed individual.
He's messed up.
We are not rooting for this guy.
He's got a lot of issues.
But once it gets to a certain point, you're kind of like, I just want to see him get the fuck out of this already.
Or just like get put out of the misery,
right.
Basically. It's like watching a trapped animal that's suffering, basically.
Sure. Yeah, at that point, you're just like, die or get out. Yes. I don't know, just stop.
Yeah. 100%.
And so I'm glad. If this tried to go for another 30, 40 minutes, I couldn't have handled it.
No, me either. There wouldn't have been anything. Yeah.
More
I think it definitely, like, the pacing is great. The story is well understood, like, the limitations and everything, like we've already said. We're kind of repeating stuff. Okay. So, but, if you're interested, check it out.
If not, flush it down the toilet.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, guys.